The Rainbow 7.
Of course it is the Rainbow 7.
Yep.
Oh, sorry.
He's still dying over there.
Oh, 100%. And welcome back, everybody, to another episode of V-Time, episode 204 in 2024. Ha ha ha.
Jesus Christ.
Hey, if we did the whole 203 in 2023 joke last V-Time, which did air in 2023, then we gotta do the new 2024 joke. And as this is the first V-Time of 2024, huzzah! We got a decent stuff to talk about from the last start deck to first reveals of Boiso Set 1, as well as the Bushiroad general product presentation strategy thingy, and whatever little bit of anger we got in that.
Mm-hmm. Which is kind of disappointing because it lasted maybe, 30 minutes to an hour?
I'd say an hour. I'd say 45 minutes because we started at 1 o'clock their time, 7 o'clock my time, 1 a.m. Jarl's time. And we finished an hour later, but they also started with a couple of other. It's 45 minutes-ish.
Yeah, like the first thing that they showed us was just like TCGs and other stuff and whatever they're doing for the whole general, and then they moved into Vanguard.
And there was tournament information, and then they showed us a 20-minute snippet of the first episode. Well, 20-minute snippet.
You mean the first yeah, episode? It was like the whole 20-minute first episode.
Well, we didn't get to see the opening or ending, so, that's that.
Oh, yeah. Didn't they say they were going to show it in that one?
They might actually play it, because at the time of this recording, the stream is technically still going, but it's not currently on Vanguard. It might be still on wrestling and stuff like that. They might do the opening, ending, and opening songs as part of a concert.
Yeah, as I said, I think they said they're going to be doing a concert, and I think the concert was going to be them doing one of the openings or endings.
Exactly. But that's here nor there. We got this episode to talk about, so let's jump straight into it and see what all the last week has held for us.
Hey, yes, package for Mr. Top Deck Heroes.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks. Mr. Top Deck Heroes? Mr. Top Deck Heroes, your package. Man, another one? What is with this guy? Mr. Top Deck Heroes, again.
Oh, Melody again.
Mr. Top Deck Heroes, your package. Oh, God, thank you, that was heavy. What's in that one?
Oh, trading cards.
Cards? Was every one of them cards?
Yeah.
How can you afford that?
Oh, that's interesting you say that. I got it from the Playful Scri.
Secret.
Man, these people are crazy.
It's no secret. 50 cards. Use code TDHeroes for a discount.
Starting us off with the last start deck for the 6 start decks, and it is the Lyrical Star deck joining the rotation with the other 5 nations. Huzzah!
Yeah.
And our starter for this Lyrical Star deck is Wonder Lavender Ursula. Simple, straightforward starter abilities. It's where the ride line abilities come in, where we actually start to see what this deck wants to do. And as such for Lyrical, it is jumping back to Lyrical things with Heartwarming Lorca. Her ability is auto when this unit is rode upon by resolve to sing until the end Louise. Choose up to 1 grade 2 or less normal unit from your hand and call it to rearguard. If you call the card, search your deck for up to 1 card with the same card name as the unit called by this effect. Reveal it, put it into your hand, and shuffle your deck. And then of course the second ability is continuous rearguard during your turn. If you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard of Marlene in its card name, this unit gets power 5k, making it a 13k booster or attacker.
This card's really fucking good.
Oh, it is. Like, it basically
you just
gets you a free unit and doesn't change your hand at all.
Not one thing. It's just an extra free attacker. It's just like, here's free early attack. This is essentially what that is. I'm like, damn.
Not only that, it kind of, I won't say it's broken, but it does kind of do a fun thing. If you manage to see a perfect guard in the early game, you can call that perfect guard, search your deck for another perfect guard, and add the hand.
And there's, I'm pretty sure, considering it's lyrical, there's some kind of bouncing effect, so there may be something down the road. I haven't seen the full deck.
Well, perfect. You get to read the grade 2 now.
No, okay, perfect. Resolve this thing until the end, Louise. When this unit is ruled upon by a grade 3 card with Marlene and its card name, choose one of your rear guards. You may return it to your hand. If you return a card, you may call this card to rear guard. Okay, so pretty much exactly what I was just talking about. Like,
yup.
Yeah, like you get 2 PGs for free. That's really fucking good. And then the other secondary is if it's a grade 3, then you write it on it. It's just the 15k shield attacker.
Which honestly is still good because this card does call itself out of the ride line to rear guard after you bounce. So you just get a free 15k shield on the board now.
Like, I'm sorry, but I think Lyrical has probably got one of the best, if not the best, ride line in the terms of like just how free it is.
Oh, 100%. Like Dragon Empires, I would argue, is a little bit more freer because the Dragon Empire ride line is literally just right on top of grade 1, Energy Blast 2, draw a card. Right on top of grade 2, either call the grade 2 as a rear guard, like this effect, or Energy Charge 3. Yeah,
that's pretty. It's pretty useful, actually.
Exactly. Like the rest of the ride lines are kind of like here nor there. Like Dark States is like Soul Charge 2 plus 5k, and then after that, if you have certain member cards in Soul, draw a card when you ride on the grade 2. Ketters is what Ketter has always done, but better, I guess.
It's not as unforgiving. You at least get something in your hand, or you get something on the field. Yeah. And even
you either get a free unit on the board, or you at least get a shield value or a piece into hand, and then you can potentially activate ditch effects. And then you know, call a card, draw a card is just simple and straightforward and free and good.
Yeah, like it's pretty much the same effect as this one, but still.
Exactly, and then you got the Brain Gate one, which is simple, straightforward. Find your set order, which the deck wants to do, and then you got Cristianos, which is like, okay, either fix your hand first and then call a free unit.
I'm just sad about that, but you know, it's neither here nor there.
Oh, if you are super lucky, as Alex was and will be in the upcoming video, you can have 3 fucking ditch targets in one hand and then ride grade 1 and then ditch all 3 and call all 3.
Yeah, it's pretty dumb.
Exactly. But excuse me. With knowing what the ride line does, we got to talk about what the main grade 3 does, and that is Love Call Marlene. Her effect, as all of them, is always act Vanguard. Once per turn, cost cannibals when search your deck for up to 1 card with the same card name, reveal it, put it in hand. Shuffle the deck, and this unit gets 10k power until the end of turn. But her Energy Blast effect is auto Vanguard when this unit attacks a Vanguard. Cost Energy Blast 4. Choose one of your rear guards, return it to your hand. Choose up to 1 grade 3 or less unit card from your hand and call it to open rear guard, and it gets 10k power until the end of turn. Hector, you're very familiar with this effect because it's almost a carbon copy of your Keter effect. It just, instead of drop its hand.
I mean, it's essentially, it's almost an exact carbon copy, except the difference is that, you know, your hand kind of stays the same. So you have to have a little bit of a hand versus Cater one. If I don't have a hand, that's fine. I'm getting it back from this. So I do feel it's a little bit freer, but you know, you can play around with what you want. But the numbers are going to matter. Like when of course, they're going to have the grade 2 that whenever it's called by the certain effect to get an extra power, that's going to be what Persona Ride 40k on its own. And Long has seen how annoying that is.
Oh yeah, we can actually talk about those cards real quick. As usual, we always get cards that we know we're gonna get, but the one card that's always different or deck specific is the power card, right?
Mm-hmm. Which is
What's this one?
Playful Scribbling Seer. When this unit is placed on rear guard during your battle phase, if a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Marlene is card name, this unit gets plus 10k until the end of the battle. Or end of the turn, my bad. So yeah, that's the one that's pretty much what it's stuck with its effect.
So yeah, you have a 10k rear guard that gains 10k from its own ability, making it 20k, and then another 10k from the Vanguard because it got called. So just a 30k beat stick, potentially 40 on Persona High. Jesus fucking Christ.
Like, it's very straight simple, you know?
And as usual, these decks did get the staple cards. We got Rapid Growing Flowerbed Saline as our auto when this card is discarded from hand during your right phase. Soul Blast 2 and draw a card. We got our Theater Lesson.
Theater. That's how you, yeah.
Yep.
Lesson.
These are grade 1 that says auto when this card is discarded from hand during your right phase. May call this card to the rear guard as rest. And last but not least, our Energy Blast card that has the condition behind it,
which is Hasty Loafer Nina. When this unit boosts, if you have 3 or more units with different card names, which is very specific, 3 or more units with different card names, cost counter plus 1, Energy Blast 2, draw a card, and this unit gets plus 5k into the end of that battle.
So I kind of understand why this is the way it is. And granted, it does say units, so the second you have her, it says if you have 3 or more units. It doesn't say other units, it doesn't say rear guards, it says units. So it literally, just having your Vanguard and her on the board, you just need something else that's not her, and you can activate that effect. So it's not that big of a restriction. But I kind of understand why they're going that direction, because Lyrical has always been the nation where it has the most consistent and always supported Highlander deck.
Pretty much, yeah.
Like, there's a Bermuda Highlander deck, and we have a Petrarca and Standard as a Highlander deck. Like, a Highlander has always been a Lyrical thing.
Yeah, that's one of the things that's never going to go away. Yeah, like, it's stick to it, you know? It's one of its identities.
Exactly. Moving on. Now we have all the starter decks behind us. We can finally start talking about the new booster set and all the cards we're going to be getting there. And the biggest question with the new booster set cards was, since energy blasting and energy charging and the energy generator is the new mechanic, how fast are we going to start seeing and how much are we going to start seeing energy blast cost in new cards? Well, with 3 new cards for Dark States revealed, that question got answered very fast. Like, holy shit fast. And we're starting to get some perspective.
Yeah, like my theory about that was that it was going to be like, maybe like the set 1, we're going to get energy specific cards to the new faded cards, obviously, because it's the new ride lines and, you know, all that other stuff. And or maybe a few energy blast cards that are very generic, you know, like for Dragon Empire, EB3, EB2, retire something. There's something very specific, generic.
Yeah.
But this is full on Greedon support that, you know, says it its name and requires energy blast. Like, I didn't think it would do it that fast. I would say probably like set 2, maybe 3. You know, give us a little bit of room of, fuck that. We're just going straight in, balls to the wall.
Like, I feel like set 1 and 2 are gonna upgrade every deck to be energy compliant.
To a certain degree. Well, we already got, from these cards we're about to read, we actually have a really good idea, the scope of energy blasts and how it's gonna look. And I'll go into that once we read the cards. But we're gonna start off with the Greedon support with Desired Devil Gorjo. It's a grade 1 double rare, a little cute. What would you call it? That it's like a mole? No, it's a groundhog. No, I don't know what it is. Armadillo. It looks like, it does look like an armadillo.
And his effect is auto. When this unit is put from rearguard into soul, if you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Greedon in its card name, energy blast 3 and put this card into your hand. Its second ability is continuous guardian circle if you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard or greater on its card name, and your damage zone has 4 or more cards. This unit gets shield 5k, making it 10k shield. So overall, this card is actually not bad. More shield value in the game is always nice. The fact that it says Greedon in its card name means that it works both for Mask and OG Greedon, so you can play them in both. And Energy Blast 3, to just get it back to hand, is just free real estate. You do miss out on Soul, but you do get a card back into hand.
Yeah, like it's already taken advantage of the research. You don't want any Soul Blast because Greedon's skill. You don't want to use too much Counter Blast for your other skills that are going to be doing. Then it's just energies are free. Your Vanguard doesn't rely on it like the start decks.
It's basically makes both Greedon costs one less card. So OG Greedon, you do still put 4, but you now bounces back to hand. So you put 3 cards into Soul instead of 4. And the Mask one is now 3 instead of 2 instead of 3. So you're just getting some value back into your hand, and value is the name of the game for Vanguard. The next Greedon card,
the extra shield is always nice.
Exactly, 10k makes a difference. Whenever you say you insult me, just throw a 10k shield down.
The numbers that are insulting that I have shield for big attacks, and this is barely not even worth my damn time.
So the next card we're going to talk about is the other Greedon support card, and this one is the triple rare Desire Devil Alay. His a grade 2 and a triple rare, like I said, and his ability is very fun because it says auto when this unit is placed on rearguard during your main phase. So thank God they didn't try to break it. Oh, sadness also. Energy Blast 3, choose a unit card with Desire Devil in its card name and different from this unit from your soul and call it to rearguard. And then auto front row rearguard once per turn when your grade 3 or greater Vanguard agreed on its card name attacks. Until the end of turn, that unit gets power 5k. And if your damage zone has 4 or more cards, this unit gets 5k. Huzzah!
Like, even I can tell this is going to be annoying as fuck.
So Hector, how much knowledge do you have about Greedon is the good question.
I play on Deer Days for the OG Greedon, and I know how that is, and I faced against it quite a few times against Greedon Mask at locals, so no, it's a bit of annoying little shit.
So this card, for one, its first ability is just amazing because for Energy Blast 3, which is technically a free resource right now, until we get more Energy Blast and yada yada yada, on plays get a card out of your soul. It does hurt soul count, but it gets you another unit on the board, which for both Greedons is just free real estate.
Yeah, it hurts the soul just in the short term, but in the long term, it doesn't mess with anything because this just goes in there as well at the end.
On top of that, this thing is not restricted to what you call or where you call it. You just has to be Desire Devil, and you have to call it. So you can call it another attacker in the other column. You can call a booster behind it. You can call it a piece that does something when it goes to soul. You can basically set yourself up for anything. And for both Greedon decks, what this card might be used primarily for is on place, call, Energy Blast 3, pull out the starter Gomon. So that way when it goes back into soul, you can counter +1 and do Baldora for the whole turn.
Meaning that you're going to have opened up more space because you don't have to run as many of the grade 1 in your deck.
Exactly. Like the grade 1 Dragon Tree Wretch for Greedon Mask specifically has been very much a staple because it's Soul Blast 2, get Gomon out, get any piece you'd need out. So it's just like free unit on the board, you don't have to waste too much hand to suck stuff up into soul. This thing does the same thing but without Soul Blasting 2.
Yeah, like this is...
The only downside is it is on place, so you need to see more of them as much as the Dragon Tree Wretch is an act ability, but depending on what deck you're fighting, they can just pop the Dragon Tree Wretch so you're back in square one anyway.
Yeah, so, I mean, they didn't want to make it too broken, because if it was on placed during any time at all, I mean, it'd be too fucking broken.
Oh, dude. I'm glad it does the same main phase. If this just said on place, Energy Blast 3, call a card out of soul, I will tell you right now, 4 attack OG Greedon would be a thing. Like for Vanguard attack, let me specify that. For Vanguard attack, OG Greedon would be a thing.
8 drive checks. Do a thing. Probably more.
I know, right? Isn't it great? But before we talk about energy costs and all that, I do like the fact that this Greedon support is good. It's not broken. It introduces energy, and it just it's the right amount of support. It's not meant to break the deck, but it does help it with the new mechanic as well as just do fun things still.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of fun things, we got 2 Greedon cards as well as our first Cycle Grade 2 that apparently all nations are going to be getting. And this thing is, in my opinion, a game changer.
100%.
What'd it be?
So this one, it's a grade 2, like I stated, Steam Gunner Discal.
Tisquar.
It doesn't matter. Discal. Oh,
Tisquar.
I have different. Yeah, Tisquar. I have a different name on the Discord I'm looking. But anyways, Steam Gunner, whatever you want to call it. The main skill is when this unit is put on Guardian Circle from hand or discarded from hand while riding from the right deck, cost +1 or Energy Blast 3 and draw a card. Second skill, when this unit is placed on rear guard, if you Persona ride this turn, cost +1 or Energy Blast 3, you may soul charge 1. Until end of turn, this unit gets boost and plus 5k.
Holy fucking shit.
We essentially now have 8 cards for, ditching targets to be able to draw.
And 4 of those cards are Soul Blast 1. 4 out of those cards are either Counter Blast or Energy Blast.
So for the decks that don't require, because putting in perspective, like I don't play much Dark States, so I don't like beside of I'm a Gruzio, so I don't use it much. But like put it into perspective of like the Cater one. Like we're gonna have the Cater one that's gonna have a very similar effect, except for like the last little bit where it's a little bit different. But the first effect where Cater's new ride line, the only CB that it used, I'm talking about the quick start deck, is the search for your +1 search for your Persona ride. All the other effects were pretty much just not cost at all. So besides not using this, I can use CB all fucking day for this.
100%. And those decks that don't energy blast a lot. Those decks that don't energy blast a lot, now they have an energy blast outlet. They don't have to wait till they get 7 to draw a card. They can just go, oh, why would I wait till 7 to draw 1 card when I can just use 6 of it to draw 2 cards?
And draw 2. Yeah, and then I'm just like, so like it gives it options for either one of the 2 decks, and this is good support. This is good generic support that decks. This is something to where you don't feel like, oh, we're gonna moving completely away from something else, and we're not gonna give anything to the old decks.
Exactly. I do gotta admit, I misread this card when it first got announced. I thought that was Counter Blast 1, Energy Blast 3. You had to do both. So I was like, ooh, that's a heavy cost for just a draw card. But no, it's ore.
Yeah.
Dude,
which is also nice. And it's also a little bit of defensive creed, what Matt was talking about as well. Because like it is during, if you put it on Guardian Circle, okay, you can do this and you potentially draw into the extra shield that you need.
Like,
but I'm curious,
how many times have you hit a draw trigger defensively and it drew you in the exact piece you needed to survive that turn?
Not often, but enough to where it counts, enough to where it matters.
And this is the same concept. Having this in hand, you look at your hand as like, I might not be able to guard this turn. Plop this down, energy, Counter Blast, whatever you pay the cost, draw a card. Oh, look, just what I needed to survive this turn.
Now, I'm curious about what the secondary skill is going to be different for every single nation. Because obviously, you're going to need the Persona ride. That's going to be common, and the cost.
So there's 2 things I want to mention about this card. So there's 2 things I want to mention about this card. One is exactly that, and I'll get to that. The first thing I do want to mention immediately, though, there is one more key difference between this cycle card and the Soul Blast 1 cycle cards, and that is the fact that once you use these, that's it. They don't go back to bottom of deck like the other ones do.
Oh, that is true. It stays in the drop zone.
So once this is used, that's about it. Now, certain decks can really manipulate this. If you're running stuff like a Zargon and to put cards from drop to soul for dark states, you can kind of reuse this by putting in the soul and potentially calling out a soul, yada yada yada. I know for Stoicheia, it's going to be easy to recall this from drop to activate its other abilities. Like there's reuse for this. Decks that are able to grab cards from drop and hand them hand might be able to abuse this though. So that's gonna be fun to see and figure combos with those.
It wouldn't work for the Stoicheia one because this one specifically has to be called to guard a sacred from hand, so they can't intercept it with it. But I do see what you're saying with that.
Oh, I'm talking about just recalling it for its Persona Ride ability.
Oh yeah, the Persona Ride ability. Yeah, depending on what that Persona Ride ability for Stoicheia is, that's still gonna be fucking good.
So, but that's the second part I want to get to. The Persona Ride ability for this specific card, for Dark States, threw me for a loop. The Soul Charge one is obvious. The 5k and boost was not. Because I never expected, I'm like, did we ever need more boosters?
Yeah, that's the part where I'm not sure if that was specific to Dark States. Like you said, the Soul Charge one is obvious to Dark States. I doubt we're gonna get that in the rest of them, but it'll maybe something like maybe get 5k instead of that, and then the secondary effect is also something else. Like I could see the first part of the Soul Charging being different amongst every single nation, but keeping this unit gets boost and Powerpuff K just as an added extra.
Yeah, see, but then that would be a really good question. Then what would it do? Like we have, thankfully, the Jewel Cats as good examples of generic nation effects that do things good for the nation. But then you really look at it and it's like, okay, the Jewel Cat for Dragon Empire draws a card. The Jewel Cat for Dark States counter charges. Then you got top 5 called, and you got Soul Charge and do things, and you got get Persona Ride, and then you got get set orders, and they make sense, but yeah. Like if everything would gain 5k and boost, what would the first part be? Because Soul Charge for Dark States is very obvious. Retire
Stoicheia would be mill 1.
Could be. I can see retire for Dragon Empire. I can see potentially something with set orders for Brain Gate.
Cater either calling something back or just giving extra power.
Yeah, see, but when you get to those type of territories, it's like, is calling a unit to board and Soul Charge 1 really equivalent? You see what I mean?
I mean, true. Not all. It is true. Certain cards, because they're the equivalent of the effects of what they do to their own nation, are a little bit stronger because of that.
Exactly. So
inherently, there are some effects like that that are just too strong, just because they are in that specific nation.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that you as a Catter player would you like your Jewel Cat that looks at top 5 calls, you would definitely trade it in for the Dark States one that just counter charges.
Possibly, yeah. Like specifically, that is why the Jewel Cat Kitty, like that one is, I think, still the highest one out of all of them, just because it's so good. It's so it's so useful in Cater. But when you take a look at the other ones, they're like cheap. Some people don't even run them just because their effects are hardly even useful, even though that they're in the specific decks.
Exactly. All right. With that being said, though, we do have looking forward more of these cards as well as other cards, because the next Tuesday stream we will be seeing not only the triple rare cycle version for Stoicheia, but also a triple rare and a double rare support card for Sylvan Horned Beast. Which means this can be either Maggie Elder or Maggie Mask support, or as we saw with Greedon, both. And then the next Thursday stream, they're giving us a little bit of a loop-de-loop, because not only are they going to be revealing the triple rare cycle card for Catter, so we'll see what that one does. They're also apparently going to be showing us 6 double rares, basically each nation's double rare cycle card. So a lot of generic stuff on the horizon next week, and I can't wait for it because, like we said, I want to see what the grade 2s for Stoy and Keter do if the effect is like this. But then I'm also curious, what double rare generic card are we getting? Because the last time we got a double rare generic card was the Kitty. Oh, actually, was Kitty triple rare? I can't remember.
Kitty was triple rare. Kitty was triple rare.
Well, my point still stands. Like, it's still going to be interesting to see what kind of double rare across all nations we're going to get.
I think the double rares effect is going to be a little bit more tied to energy in the sense of more stricter, more beneficial, because this one's a triple rare and it helps both sides equally.
True. Oh, that actually brings me to a good point. With these 3 cards, there is one thing noticeable already, and that is where the energy threshold just might stay at. There's going to be certain effects, like for example, if you take the starter decks where Energy Blast 4 is going to be the thing, since it is like the main Vanguard's ability that does the Bane stick and yada yada yada. Then you look at some of the other cards, you have an Energy Blast 2 effect that gives 5k in the Cray Elemental Grade 2 promo. You have an Energy Blast 2 effect that draws you a card in the ride line. And then you have a lot of Energy Blast 3 effects. Oh, and there's an Energy Blast 2 draw card effect with the grade 1. But now we saw 3 cards with Energy Blast 3 effects. And there's one thing about that. That is the fact that Energy Blast 3 effects is the same amount as much as you energy charge each turn. Which basically means, depending on how crazy you go with using your energy, every turn you're gonna have guarantee 1 effect that's Energy Blast 3 that you can use. Now, if you play conservatively, you might maybe be able to use more of them, but if you really went ham, you only get 1 a turn. If it's Energy Blast 3.
Yeah, if it's Energy Blast 3. So this is really gonna focus. This is gonna make a lot of players figure out what skills they're gonna want to be using the most. Because obviously it's one thing if you have a lot of cards that have Soul Blast or kind of so you already have to manage those resources. But now with this, you can't just make every single one of your cards in your deck Energy Blast specific and then, you know, try to run on that, because you're going to run out completely. You can completely run out your all 7 of your energy, or 9, however, 6 or 9 if you go first or second, completely go back down to 0, and then next turn you're kind of screwed.
Yeah. I mean, we got to see a little bit of a glimpse of that with the start decks testing. We made very generic start decks where literally only one card constantly energy blasted and the other card only energy blasted if you saw yourself having enough energy for it, because the math checked out in, oh, I went first, my first grade 3 turn, I only have 6 energy. I can only use my Vanguard's ability 3 times this fight. That's it.
And because we know the fights are going to be lasting long, because we don't have really other heavy special effects, you know, it's going to last that long.
So that brings me to my point of, whenever we redo the start decks and actually make them with upgrades, it's going to be very interesting to see what kind of upgrades we put in them, especially from the main booster set of DZ. Because if you put any more energy blast cost, you really got to start playing your turns ahead, because you might be able to do your Vanguard's ability in an energy blast and then wait a turn on vanilla and then do it again if you're not careful.
And then you have to really start thinking about...
Yeah, that's why I also like these grade 2 cycles, because their alternate cost is CP. Because it's like, oh, I can still use this even though I don't have energy.
At that point, like, if your support starts being better than your main Vanguard's cost or ability, then you may just forego your Vanguard's ability and then just use your rearguard's abilities.
Exactly. So a lot of fun testing and resource management ahead. But now we got to move into the news section and talk about everything that we've seen and everything that's happened. Real quick, so 2024 started, and in the Chinese calendar, 2024 is the year of the dragon. And as such, Bashir released us a new vanilla overtrigger with Tomari. And yeah, no, it's just, I found it neat.
Don't trust me. Like, I don't know. I don't play Snow, but even I find it neat. I'm like, damn.
Right? It really is a good, cool nod. She's wearing the dress. She's carrying a Dragon Empire lantern for the Year of the Dragon. I think it's the Year of the Dragon. I could be wrong.
I'd have to look it up.
Yeah, you look that up as I continue. Well, the other card I did want to mention is the World Original for China. No, I don't know.
It's China. It's Chinese.
It is Chinese? Yes. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
For a second, no, it is. Yes, I think this is Chinese. Yes, it is. So the World Original for the Chinese Vanguard is a Keter PG.
Which looks so fucking cool that I want. I want it. It looks so cool. I can't remember if it was the name of the first one or it's the name of the second one. But like the artwork is so fucking cool on it. Yeah. Like I want to place it.
Well, let's hope we get World Originals. We're not probably gonna get this one, but maybe we get something.
I can't remember. What was the last time we actually got a World Original? Set 7?
If I remember correctly, someone did mention we potentially got it in set 7, and it was the Dark States Overtrigger, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, in Lyrical set 4, apparently we get one. I forget which one it is. But February 10th is the official start of the Year of the Dragon in the Chinese calendar.
Oh, there we go.
So, yeah.
All right. Moving on. We do got to talk about some other stuff. They announced something really big, actually. We are getting, or everybody already knows, we're getting the 3 new deck sets for premium that are Cecilia, Raging Form, and the Genesis. I forgot what her name is.
It wasn't Genesis, it was Jewel Knights, wasn't it?
Sorry, it was Jewel Knights. Fuck. Yeah, Jewel Knights, Raging Form, and Cecilia Musketeers. Wow. Yeah, thank you. But they also announced one more thing for those 3 specific products. And that is the fact that they're going to be putting in Harmonix Messiah in each of them with the Guardian Shield token.
That's actually
I know you
nice.
don't play I know you don't play Premium Hector, but you know how good this news is.
No, yeah. I know that fact because I still have mine. I managed to find mine, and yeah.
This is a really cool. This is just cool. This is amazing news for premium and then the premium products. But moving forward, I want to talk about something real quick, like a small topic before we talk about the stream and all that. And that is the fact that it clicked to me through a Twitter post I saw that all the starters, all the stuff we've been doing for the start decks are cards that are actually in the main set. Starters included. So those same starters are going to be actually the starters for the 6 faded ones. And when
you keep saying faded, but it sounds like you're saying faded.
No, fated.
I know, it's like it's just funny the way it sounds.
But still, those 6 starters are the faded ones starters, and that made me. And this picture actually articulates that point really well, because you start seeing the connection between the starter and the main unit now. Like we actually see, like Velstro was obvious because we had to blitz Werner again. The Raziel starter being Angel makes sense. Then you see especially Zorga's.
Zorga's, it's just weird ocean tentacle thing that Alex likes, tentacles.
Exactly. And then the Dark States one is very connected, and Dragon Empire is very connected, and Lyrical still singing in the Idols and all that. So it made more sense, and I just found it very intriguing.
Oh yeah. Then the latest world order trigger that we did not, it's not a trigger, but it's a world order. It's the Lyrical one, the PG.
Oh, cool. Hell yeah. So that's going to be very interesting to see and find. Anyway, now I should talk about the news and cover some of the general product stream that we happened literally a few minutes ago for us. And that is the fact that there wasn't many Vanguard news, but there was some, and I know Hector's already excited for it.
Oh, yes. So this right here is our boy. and then we see this is the DSR version that we're gonna get.
Again, done by Clamp, and this just reminisces so much on like, is this how we started Overdress?
I think so, yeah.
Let's see, if I remember correctly, our first DSRs were Trickstar and Nirvana, followed by Bruce and Bastion, and then we got Snow and Maggie as DSRs by Clamp as well, where you saw the unit and the character in the same art.
Yeah. And I remember we pulled the Bastion one because I could have bought it, but I'm like, nah, I didn't buy it. I think Connor kept the DSR for Nirvana, if I'm not, or Trickstar.
Yes.
Didn't he get one? I can't
Nirvana.
remember.
He got Nirvana.
He got Nirvana. But I like the sword. I wonder if otherwise this is a blaster blade.
Oh, that'd be cool. Like Blaster Blade Descendant type deal.
Oh, not exactly. In the lore, the blaster blade obviously is not the name of the person, it's the name of the sword that the person takes on.
Right.
So way back then there was only one blaster blade, but over time went out, they started to be able to create new blaster blades. They're a fraction of the power of what the original used to. They're not the exact same one, they're like new generations, but they still hold a lot of power. Bastion himself holds one, Thegria uses one, Obscudate, like the whole lore, he used to own one, still does, I'm not sure. Like a lot of the captains, a lot of the grade 3s, they use a lot of the important figures in the lore, they use blaster blades. So I'm curious if this is one of them.
That would be really cool. We still have no idea what this actual unit does as an effect, but
Nope.
I do like the lore implications behind it. Now, other stuff that we talk about, that got news from in Vanguard World on the stream is the fact that we are getting some more collaborations. Not in that sense, and kind of in the other sense. So, D4DJ and Vanguard are making a collaboration again. That just means that D4DJ might be getting some skins and other stuff that you can unlock with Vanguard. They used to do this with Vanguard 0. I'm interested to see how they're going to do this collaboration this time, because they're not only introducing Will Dress, but also Divine Z. So, huzzah.
I have no idea what D4 DJ is.
D4 DJ is Brusher Road's rhythm game, mobile rhythm game.
Ah, gotcha.
Make it a sense?
Yeah.
So basically it will be a collab event inside of D4 DJ with Vanguard units, yada yada yada. However, this other collab with Boiso, if I'm mispronouncing that, I apologize, is in the TCG. So Boiso is a VTuber group focused on the esports scene, and collab cards will appear on the next booster set coming out in June. So think of this as the Hololive collab we got with the lyrical card Michu. So this is gonna be very, very interesting.
When it says VTuber collab cards, so is like one person is the VTuber and like this is the personas, or
no, these are all different VTubers from my understanding.
Oh, okay. So like each VTuber has their own persona in here, essentially.
Correct. Now there's one thing to note in this announcement, which is I do think this is cool. I do think this collab is going to be cool because the characters portrayed in the promotional video for it do look cool. I do want to see them as units. But the thing that it says is that this is on the next booster set coming out on June. Now you gotta understand, booster set 1 for Divine Z comes out February 9th. Booster set
English
2 for Japan. We're talking about Japan.
Okay.
Booster set 2 comes out April 5th, which means this collab is for set 3.
I wonder how that's gonna work.
Dude, we're already talking about set 3 collabs, and we've barely even seen 3 cards of booster set 1. Well,
yeah,
technically we've seen more.
Cards.
We've technically seen more from the start deck effect cards, but yeah, do you really want to count those?
Yeah, we've seen quite a few cards. If you technically want to look in the, technicality, but As far as new cards, yes, we've only seen 3 new in this terms of effects.
Exactly. So overall, this is very interesting, and for the most part, that is it for everything Vanguard from the last week. A decent amount of news, not too much. I was hoping to get more from the product presentation thing or Vanguard. But
I mean, we did get to see the little promotional video of basically all 4 of them went up against my boy Razaville by himself, and he was just soloing them.
Yeah, pretty much.
He was like,
we also did get
4 of you.
We also did
one.
get the full first episode, and it looks interesting. Oh yeah,
like, I'm not gonna lie. It actually had me invested in it. I'm like, damn, like it's going fast, obviously. But like, okay, it doesn't feel like it did it like with use. It feels like Chrono felt a little bit more like edgy Lord, but this guy seems like an actual anime protagonist.
Yeah, pretty much. I couldn't have said it better myself. And episode 2, since we got full of episode 1, they literally left us on a cliffhanger of them standing up the Vanguard, which means episode 2 is going to be nothing but a learning fight. Because we have confirmation they will be using in the episode the start decks for Keter and Dragon Empire.
Yep.
Huzzah. Alright, but with all that being said, we're going to end this episode here. Thank you everybody so much for watching and listening to episode 204 of V-Time. If you liked the episode, please like, share with your friends, comment down below what you think the future holds, what you think the cycle cards effects are going to do, or anything other than that. But if you like what we do here, subscribe to the channel, ring that bell to get notified, maybe become a member for some awesome perks. But with all that being said, I've been Philip.
And this is Hector.
And we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye. Huzzah. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else there. That's it.
Yeah, like, it kind of felt like a short one. Mainly because it didn't have much in the thing.